Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we are having the peak energy of the full moon. I want to give you an intuitive update for how you may be feeling right now or how you may be affected. If you're more sensitive to energies, if you're more sensitive to emotions, well, this video will help you so much. So currently we are in a peak state of letting go of the old cycles. So I always say too, if you don't break the cycle, you recycle it. You go once again into a cycle where similar events are happening, similar people are meeting you, you're going through similar experiences, you're meeting similar what you may call failures, similar successes, until you learn to do things in a more aware, more conscious, more maybe meaningful, purposeful, more content way. So this energy is the most potent, especially for people who maybe took an adult duties way too early in life. Because for many of you it may feel like you're carrying a sense of burden on you, and maybe this sense of burden now is even limiting your experience. Like you haven't let it go, you haven't forgiven to yourself or people around you that maybe in your childhood were not there, or you've been the person that needed to take care for many people around you, or needed to do many things that were happening quite too soon for you. Because of that you became very strong and very independent, but you still have a sense of duty, like you need to take care of others. So you are maybe a people pleaser, or you're maybe someone who's constantly putting other people in the first place, and therefore you're overthinking and you're worrying and you're not satisfied with your life. If this is you, well, I would like to encourage you to really reflect on your life right now and to see if there is something you could forgive, or is there maybe someone with whom you could talk, like a therapy or a deep progressive meditation or a certain workshop. Find a system. Maybe you're already in a certain system that works for you, and I just want to encourage you, keep up with it. If you're working on any type of a healing, be patient with yourself and keep moving forward. Don't jump from one system to another, because there's one that will change your life, and I'm sure we all naturally feel magnetized towards something that works for us. And I just want to encourage you, well, if you feel like you're somewhere in between this process where you're healing these old wounds, where you feel like you're carrying too much of burden on you, I've made a video about letting go that is focused more on releasing the stagnant energy from the body, releasing the old energy, which happens through feeling but without analyzing, which is an important information. Then also for anyone who got hurt, no matter how hard you try in your life. How many of you get hurt in your life or got hurt in the past? Doesn't matter how hard you tried. Like maybe you've tried so hard in a relationship and people always misused you. Or maybe you're trying so hard with your work, with your job, with your business, with your projects, and nothing moves forward. Well, it brings a lot of exhaustion, and maybe there's just a lack of new perspective present, right? There's maybe just a lack of new ideas, maybe new knowledge. Maybe you're not sticking to a certain plan, or maybe you're not finishing what you've started. Whatever is your, let's say, broken mechanism that is not allowing you to heal and to move on to a more productive, more creative, more meaningful, more purposeful cycle. Well, you may feel this energy the most right now because you've been encouraged to find maybe a new perspective, which is to talk with someone else that could be already where you are, or with someone else who's maybe more grounded than you are, and ask them for an advice. And make sure those are people who are already where you want to be. If you're working on a spiritual development, talk with someone who's more spiritually evolved. If you're working on business, talk with someone who's already at that level where you want to be. if you're working on family, like you want to make healthier family dynamics and relationships, talk with someone who is like a mentor, or someone who's, you know, on that dream state of their family. And if you can't find them, read a book about it and study it and go deeper into the subject and believe that you can do it. Know that deep inside you have a self-image that's built out of beliefs you've shaped by two people you've admired the most in your childhood, and those were your parents. Maybe it was one, two, maybe even your siblings. And these people developed a way of thinking that also influenced your way of thinking, and consistent repetition of certain way of thinking develops beliefs, right? And beliefs form our attitudes, they form our behavior, they form our expectations. And well, if we don't reflect on that, we may just stay caught up in a certain loop where life is constantly happening similarly, without us knowing how to break this cycle. So, well, for those of you who are constantly getting hurt, it's because you are most probably doing whatever you're doing with a wrong reason. You're doing it maybe for someone else, you're doing it to be admired by someone, you are maybe doing it to be liked, or you're doing it to survive, or you're doing it to get something in return from someone else, without maybe even enjoying what you're doing, without maybe even seeing any big meaning in what you're doing. So it's always an important quest to ask ourselves, well, could it be done differently? Could there be a better reason to do it? If you ask yourself, what's the fundamental question you're asking yourself most of the time, which is usually why I'm failing, or why I'm constantly losing money, or why I'm constantly being neglected, or why I'm this, change it for how can I be a better version, or how can I make more money, or how can I reach my goals? And see how much this question truly guides you. This is a very simple technique, but it's very important. If you combine it with some spiritual work, with some healing of your heart, well, you will notice that eventually, through time, through years, you're becoming more kind towards yourself, more compassionate towards yourself, and your life starts to gain a whole new meaning. So a very beautiful thing. Another type of you who maybe didn't grow up in a safe environment, may be very affected by these energies right now. Why? Because if you've been growing up in not so safe environment, you're right now carrying a lot of wounds within you, like constantly being prepared for the worst, constantly looking where you will be attacked, and all these expectations are constantly, influencing your way of thinking, to think about the worst case scenario most of the time, and obviously to emotionally be prepared in case it happens, so you would not be surprised. So you're constantly in fear, in worry, in anger, in sadness, in maybe even depression. And if you just look into your past a little bit, do some your past regression. You don't need to go into past lives right now, but just go into your childhood and hug your inner child for a moment. Because look, you've been through a lot, but you've mastered the survival. Now master life. Master life, my friend. Life is so much more than survival. Of course, if you're struggling with finances or health or relationships, it doesn't mean that you should approach it from a standpoint of someone who's struggling. It means that you could start studying a work or a subject about finances to gain some financial education, or start studying how to improve your health. You don't need much money to improve that, or you already have money and you have resources, but you feel like your habits are so deeply rooted in something you would call as, negative ones, destructive ones. It all can be changed if you go step by step. And I know when we're in survival, it's hard to think creatively, or it's hard to think about possibilities. So you need to learn to start calming your nervous system. If you find a practice to calm down your vagus nerve, which is deeply connected to your tongue, if you relax your tongue, your vagus nerve will relax and it will signal your frontal lobe that you're safe. So your thinking brain will start relaxing and you will start to feel more calm, more relaxed. And if you stay consistent with this kind of practices, you will learn to relax your body, and that's when your limbic part of the brain, which is more of this emotional part of the brain, will start healing its tissue. And it's a very profound work because you will start to notice a change. You will start sleeping better. You will start feeling less triggered, less irritated. And if you adapt your diet a little bit to get some brain food, some herbs and nutrients and vitamins and minerals and electrolytes, what your body needs, you will start noticing a huge progress in terms of how you're feeling. And your reactions to life will change. You will start to become naturally a bit more positive. And then if you study certain books that help you to adapt your mindset, that help you with your spiritual evolution, you will start noticing very big changes. And I'm only sharing this with you because I want you to break these old cycles. And I know each of us is on our unique paths, but still each of us has our own options that we can choose. And I want you to choose the healthiest ones. I want you to choose the ones that are the most accessible to you. I found for myself healing art is a very incredible healing tool. So every single day I'm sharing art with you because I know, and I've witnessed, when people are watching a painting being created, they get more into this calm state, and then I share with you some practical guidance, some spiritual guidance, and you may easily remember this thing. So also watch it once again if you need to. Write some notes down, write some comments down to connect with others. You see, many people are actually interacting in the comment section, which is a beautiful thing because it gives you a sense of a community. It gives you a sense of being seen, of being heard, of being valued, which is still a human thing. Those are human qualities. And I want you to find, a path of growth in your life, a path of peace, a path of serenity that will lead you to where you want to go, not to where your pains want you to be, but to where your heart wants you to go. There's something you've come here to embody. Well, of course, sometimes we've come here to just, heal our karmic cycles, but at the same time, we have a bigger purpose. And there is a bigger meaning you could embody in your life if you would just pay more attention to what you truly want to experience in your life. When you're relaxed, when you're not in this fight or flight, when you're actually chilled down and you look around and you ask bigger questions like what my soul wants from me right now, like what God wants from me right now, who I can become if I let go of this, who I can become if I let go of my fears, who I can become if I let go of my limiting mindset, limiting beliefs, right? Again, if maybe in the past you've been harshly judged for making mistakes, maybe as a little kid, like you've done an artwork and then everyone was laughing at you. Many of this type of people may feel also strong energies right now because you are being supported to let go of this. Well, maybe people in the past haven't understood your creativity or your kindness or your love or your empathy, your compassion, and therefore they used it against you because they had no other skill like how to actually communicate with someone like you. And if that is you, well, forgive to yourself. forgive to them, even though it's hard, you're actually always forgiving to yourself. You're forgiving to yourself for negatively reacting to people who had no idea how to treat you better. You're forgiving to yourself for negatively reacting to people who had no idea how to treat you otherwise. You're forgiving yourself because you've reacted. You then needed to deal with all this negative chemistry, toxic chemistry of anger, frustration, sadness, depression, whatever. This was all your experience. So whoever triggered you, whoever caused you to feel this way, you needed to go then through this sensation. So forgive yourself that you've allowed yourself to be there. You just had no other skill. Now you know better. Now you know that you're incredible, that you are creative, that you are kind, that you're naturally maybe more compassionate or more empathic. Find your tribe, or maybe you've already found it and you're still carrying these weights of the past within you. Well, it's time to let them go. And when I said let it go, well, tap into the energy that you feel. And once again, it's the video I've posted about letting go. It's on my channel. So that video can help you a little bit more if you feel like you're still carrying on certain energy, stuck energy. And I just want you to know it's not something you do once. Like I'm seeing every single year, I'm just feeling lighter and lighter and more connected. So it's not like you do one practice and nothing changes. It's like doing one practice every single day, every single year. You are a work in progress, right? So take it easy. Be easy on yourself. Of course, be hard on yourself as well when you feel like you need to, when you need to push yourself, when your ego says, oh, it doesn't work, oh, I will fail once again. Those are the moments when maybe you need to be a bit harder on yourself and to push yourself and to work on what matters. If you're working on business or something, sometimes you have to push yourself to break these old programs and old habits and old attitudes so you can reprogram yourself into believing into yourself, knowing I will make it happen. Write down a clear list of goals, prioritize them, and say, I will make it happen. I will not stop today until I reach this and this and that. I will not look at my phone until I finish this and this and that. And see if you could organize yourself to such a degree that you actually finish what you've started. If you can organize yourself to such a degree that you have these moments in a day for self-compassion, for self-kindness, for reading, for education. Your education haven't stopped when you finished school. It stops when you finish this life here on earth. So remember that. Right now, you can start walking a new path. And the choice is yours in this moment. So I wanted to remind you, if you're not well organized, you will always work for someone who is organized. If you are not disciplined, you will always work for someone who's disciplined. If you are not passionate, you will always work for someone who is passionate. If you are not kind, you will most probably always be a victim of someone who is not being kind. And these are just reminders. Embody what is causing you the most pain. Embody what is causing you the most pain, because usually it's a lack of something. And you need to find out what are you lacking the most on a fundamental level. Is this peace? Is this playfulness? Is this creativity? Is this meaning? Is this purpose? Is this kindness? Is this being organized? Is this passion? Is this spirituality, like more enthusiasm, more spirit? Embody these things. You deserve all of that. All right? And to all of you who are not feeling good enough, my friends, firstly, you are good enough. You are good enough. But I know these words most of the time don't change anything. So we need to reprogram ourselves. We need to start noticing that our body is a miracle. First, at the first place, your body is a miracle. Doesn't matter how shaped, how well you're looking, doesn't matter how you're feeling, your body is a miracle. Then the second question is always, can I nourish this miracle a bit better? Could I nourish this miracle a bit better? Because if body is functioning well, your mind is functioning better, right? Then, well, how could you nourish your mind better? Your mind is such a complex mechanism, right? It attaches itself to what's the most familiar to you. So if you become more familiar with peace and quietness, well, your mind will embody that. But if you're constantly distracting yourself, your mind will become familiar with chaos, right? And then chaos becomes your nature and you become chaotic. So make sure that you live your life the way that you can say, I'm working, I'm doing my best on becoming my best. Every single day, I'm doing my best on becoming my best. And whatever it means to you. One example from my life is that if I don't have well-organized morning, then my whole day I will feel chaotic. It's just, I need to start a momentum early in the day. So I wake up early, around 4 or 5 a.m. I wake up and I go for a run or I do a workout. Then I take around 30 minutes to 1 hour for a meditation. After meditation, I will read a book. And then I will make a plan for the day. What things will I prioritize? What things I want to do? And I will do them, finish them. I'm sharing that because I've seen one comment if I could share how I'm starting the day in case it could help someone. So I hope you find it helpful and practical. I'm not saying you should wake up that early, but find out what works for you. I'm just saying, for me, it's very, very unpleasant to wake up early. But every time I do, I feel so satisfied when I get to see the sunrise, when I get to experience the morning peace. So to get out of the bed, well, it's sometimes hard and unpleasant, but when I do, I'm so happy and proud of myself. When I experience the sense of being proud of myself, well, my whole day then goes so much more smoother, so much more beautifully. So reflect a little bit on that. And then you also need to understand that the way you start your day is also being affected a lot by how you end your day. Do you prepare for the next day when you're ending your day with gratitude, with some plans for tomorrow, with some goals and dreams for tomorrow? And what will you be the most proud of if you finish, and things like that. So yeah, train yourself to be proud of yourself, to be happy for yourself. And this will also raise a lot of the level of self-worth you feel for yourself. Because you will notice when you start caring more profoundly for yourself, you will start to feel like you are so much more worthier. And that's where your dreams about finances, about whatever else, about relationships, about health and everything will increase, and you will say, well, I deserve more here and I will make it happen. And another type of people right now that will be the most affected with this full moon are also people who have needed to figure out everything on their own. Those are usually people who would describe as being self-made. Would you say like you're being self-made? No one helped you in the past. No one understood you. No one was there for you. So you needed to figure out all on your own. Well, this type of people is constantly striving, right? Constantly moving forward. Constantly seeking satisfaction in reaching goals. Constantly not feeling like having something to be grateful for. And I've worked with this kind of people and I know how it is because partially I was like that as well, constantly being driven just to experience more and to create more and to produce more, which is a beautiful thing. And I love this drive. I love it because it changes a lot. I mean, it helps me a lot in my life. But at the same time, I've needed to learn to also appreciate nothingness, to appreciate doing nothing. This is more a spiritual growth, right? To learn to slow down and notice that your happiness doesn't need to come out from reaching results. It's already within you. It's beneath all these illusions of what you need and what you want and what you desire, that then you can love life. You can start loving life in this moment. The love for life lives in your heart. It's not somewhere else. It lives in your heart. But you don't access it intellectually. You access it by slowing down and noticing that you are already enough, that you are a good person, that you are a particle of God, that you are already everything that you can be at this moment, and finding this energy within you. When you let go of anything that is not love, you become love, right? And it's a process. It's a process that takes you to a deeper sense of love. So it also happens through letting go. If you just ask yourself, whatever you feel right now, if you ask yourself, what for these emotions are serving me right now? And you may say, because if I feel fear right now, I will feel motivated to work on, I don't know, reaching more success. And then you ask yourself, what for I need success? Because then I will be appreciated or valuable. What for I need to be valuable or appreciated? Because then I will feel good enough. And what for I need to feel good enough so I can love myself? And what for I want to love myself? Because I want to feel love for life. Or whatever is your, whatever will be your answers. Dig deeper into yourself and work on releasing, work on letting go. This is the time right now where we're working a lot on letting go. Letting go is truly not a work. It's more of like the opposite of work. It's like, relaxing the muscles. It's relaxing the spiritual muscle of holding on to something that is maybe not serving you anymore. So I hope this video may help you in any way to work on that. And I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting as well. I'm sharing today with you this playful one about the full moon. So you can also get high quality prints of it. They're available in our store, AttractPassion.com, and it's a store, I Draw My Passion. If you want to have this daily inspiration at your home to be reminded of playfulness, of magic of life, of synchronicity, of joy for existence, reverence for beauty that is surrounding you, you can go and get a print of it. My friends, have a beautiful day. Sit down and write down some goals also for your future. It's a great time for manifestation. And if you want to have more details about what else you can do with this energy, go and watch the previous video about the full moon. I've talked about the 6 days of darkness, which are truly the 6 days of your internal darkness that many of you may be moving through right now, as the darkest aspects of you may be more on the surface right now. You may be more aware of them. So check it out, my friends, and till next time, I'm grateful for everyone for supporting my art, and also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content and guidance. Thank you so much, and till next time, one love.